Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started.
Hello, friends. We have some significant news from the world of Formula One today, as the situation at Ferrari appears to be reaching a boiling point. You may recall that earlier this week, Ferrari's president, John Elkann, made some very strong public criticisms of his drivers. He stated that they need to talk less and drive more, suggesting that he sees a great disunity within the team that is hurting their on-track results. These comments come during a very difficult 2025 season for Ferrari, which has been marked by poor performance, and crucially, the team has still failed to win a single race this year. Following those remarks, the team had another terrible weekend at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Hamilton suffered damage on the first lap after contact with Sainz and was later involved in another incident with Colapinto. The damage was so extensive that Ferrari had no choice but to retire the car halfway through the race. Then, on Monday night, after those direct comments from the president and the bad race, Hamilton posted a short but very direct message on his social media. In the post, Hamilton affirmed that he supports the team and also that he supports himself, adding that he won't give up, not now, not ever. This response is certain to increase the already tense atmosphere at Ferrari. Hamilton is clearly very dissatisfied with the situation. Furthermore, some behind-the-scenes information indicates that the team is also becoming dissatisfied with Hamilton. So, I want to know your opinion. Do you think the Ferrari president is right and the drivers need to stop talking and just drive? Or should Ferrari be the ones supporting its drivers and giving them a better car, rather than demanding they stay quiet?
Hey friends, how's it going? Big question today. Is McLaren sabotaging Oscar Piastri's car, or has the Australian simply lost his confidence? Both the driver and the team have spoken out about what's been happening in recent races, which ultimately cost Piastri the championship lead for the first time since April. Let's break it all down. And of course, a video this complete deserves your subscription. We're entering the decisive stretch of the season, heading toward the Brazilian Grand Prix, and you don't want to miss any of the action. So make sure you're subscribed, notifications on, and drop a like. That way YouTube alerts you whenever a new video comes out, always with the very best of Formula One. Now, back to Piastri. The young Australian hasn't been in his best form this season. At the Mexican Grand Prix, he once again suffered from a mysterious lack of pace compared to his teammate Lando Norris, and that poor performance cost him the championship lead. In qualifying, he was more than half a second slower than Norris, only managing P7 on the grid, and that was with help from Carlos Sainz's penalty. This isn't just a one-off. For several races now, Piastri has looked unsettled, making small mistakes and struggling to match Norris's rhythm. And naturally, when that happens, the rumors start flying. Some fans are already speculating that McLaren might be giving preference to Norris, or even, in the more extreme theories, sabotaging Piastri's car. But what's really going on? Piastri himself addressed the situation this week. He admitted he initially wondered if there might be lingering damage from the United States GP, where the bumpy track made the car bottom out badly. But after a detailed analysis with the team, they found no signs of mechanical failure. Team principal Andrea Stella was very clear. There is nothing wrong with the car. Instead, Stella pointed to driving style and track conditions. He explained that Norris excels in situations with low grip and sliding tires, exactly what we saw in Austin and Mexico, while Piastri shines on high grip circuits where his precise style works best. Stella reminded everyone that this is still only Piastri's 3rd season in Formula One, and that ups and downs like this are part of his development curve. During practice sessions, engineer Tom Stollard noticed that Norris was gaining significant time in the heavy braking zones, especially at turns 1 and 12. Piastri tried to adapt, braking later and stretching his deceleration to match Norris's approach. but that adjustment cost him speed in other areas, particularly the fast-flowing sections and the stadium sector. In other words, the gap wasn't about equipment, but about adapting to conditions. Piastri reinforced this message in his own words. He admitted in the last 2 races he hasn't been able to use his natural style of driving. Instead, he's been forced to tweak things, which left him less comfortable behind the wheel. But he was adamant. He hasn't lost confidence or ability. It's just a matter of adjustment, and he believes that analyzing these experiences will make him stronger for the upcoming rounds. He also pushed back firmly on the idea that McLaren has been favoring Norris. According to Piastri, the cars haven't changed in weeks, and his dip in performance has nothing to do with the machinery. It's about adapting to the unique challenges of recent circuits. Looking ahead, Stella is confident Piastri will bounce back quickly, pointing to Interlagos as a track more suited to his strengths. The team expects him to use the Mexican Grand Prix as a learning experience and return to fighting at the front. Still, the reality is harsh. The championship lead is gone, and if Piastri doesn't recover fast, Norris or even Verstappen could take full advantage. The next few races will be crucial to prove whether this is just a temporary slump or a real turning point in the title battle. So now I turn it over to you. Do you think McLaren has truly been fair with both drivers, or is there an internal push to make Norris the clear number 1? And most importantly, can Piastri recover in time to still fight for the title? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Hello friends and welcome back. We are continuing our coverage of the Brazilian Grand Prix, our home GP, and today we need to focus on a story that is both heartbreaking and heartwarming, involving Brazil's own Gabriel Bortoleto. The anticipation for Bortoleto in his debut season to race in front of his home crowd was absolutely immense. The entire weekend was built around this moment. Unfortunately, on Sunday, that dream turned into a nightmare. Gabriel had an incredibly complicated and brief race at Interlagos, which ended in disaster with a retirement on the very first lap. For a driver at his home race, this is the worst possible scenario. The frustration and disappointment were palpable. But what happened after the race is the real story. Following the conclusion of the Grand Prix, the Sauber driver returned to the pit lane. As is tradition at Interlagos, thousands of passionate fans flooded onto the main straight, creating a sea of people. Even though he was visibly and understandably frustrated by the premature end to his race, Bortoleto made a point to go out and face the public. He didn't hide in the garage. Instead, he walked toward the crowd, distributing autographed Sauber caps, taking as many photos as he could, and waving to the fans who were chanting his name. It was a true sign of his character. The most emotional moment, however, came shortly after. He made his way back into the pit lane to meet his family, who were anxiously waiting for him. As he found them and embraced his grandmother and his father, the professional composure he had maintained for the fans finally broke. The Brazilian driver could not hold back his tears and was overcome with emotion. It was a powerful image, showing just how much the weekend meant to him. All the pressure, all the hope, and all the expectation for his grand debut at home came pouring out, mixed with the harsh disappointment of how it all ended, in a way he could never have imagined. Even as he was clearly emotional and deeply saddened by what happened on track, Bortoleto spoke afterward and made a point to express his immense gratitude for the overwhelming support from the Brazilian crowd. He was incredibly candid, stating that this was, professionally, the worst weekend of his life. But he immediately followed that by saying he leaves Interlagos feeling an incredible sense of gratitude for seeing the entire country united and cheering for him. He also affirmed that he will be the first to hold himself accountable, saying that he will be the hardest critic of his own mistakes, especially when those mistakes happen at an event as important as his home Grand Prix. It was a raw and very human moment from the young driver. So I want to hear from you. What did you make of Bortoleto's performance this weekend? And more importantly, what did you think of those powerful, emotional images of him with the fans and his family after the race? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.